everyone. It's been a minute since our first podcast, which was recorded on the cusp of the start of the season, and here we are on the cusp of the playoffs. Some 8.5 months later, it's been quite the season. I'm joined today by Jamie Milton.
Hello there.
I'm also joined by Nathan Roberts.
Hello.
And Jason Dobson.
Hello.
Jamie, let's start with. Actually, no. Let's start with Nathan, as he's still in the playoffs. Sadly, Jason and Jamie have moved down to the Losers' Shield this year.
Yeah.
Jason, you're still in the Losers' Shield, yes?
I believe so.
Jamie?
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. We lost some competitors already. We had the big wildcard playoffs this weekend, so we lost Peter White and Matt De Cruz.
Yes, and we both beat them.
And I beat Matt De Cruz and you beat Peter White.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be in the playoffs proper?
It feels good. I felt good about it the whole season because of when I started to get into that wildcard spot when it looked like I was going to get it.
When you were piling on the points.
Yes, because I've had. Well, after that memorable game against Imran where he scored almost 3,000 points and I scored 2,000, which would have meant I would have beaten everyone bar him, I think, that week. That week that happened against Imran.
Which was in thanks to, I believe, was it Lukaku hat-trick on Monday Night Football?
Yes.
Well, and Lukaku is one of the players that's propelled Imran to the top of League A, that's made him probably the favourite to win the Hofmeister Liga this year
With his front three,
dangerous. And we've been riddled with surprise players this year. Josh King is one of them. Barkley, Herrera, Snodgrass, Joe Allen, Antonio Valencia, Kupue, Antonio Allen. Is there anyone that has really kind of been a story player for you all?
I picked up Barkley at the start, and I think we should separate Barkley's season into pre-hair and post-hair, because I think he started playing notably better when he started growing curly locks.
No, so when he went out the boxer haircut.
Yeah, which was long after I got rid of him, and I've been trying to get rid of him for ages. Then he became a complete powerhouse. Especially home games. Everton home games and Ross Barkley go together very well.
Was he the one that got knocked out?
Yes.
He was, yeah.
In the nightclub a few weeks ago.
And did anyone get to the bottom of that?
Seemingly not. It looked like it was just very much someone decided to have their moments of fame.
Whilst pretending to be his chum, by just being really nice and friendly.
Yeah. Hello mate, great game, bang!
The video looks like a very fine conversation, and then he just swings for him.
And then Noah said that if you look at his friend who's behind him, he's wearing a really tight-fitting shirt, which makes him look like he's shirtless in the club.
I mean, is this club in Liverpool?
I don't know, somewhere near the Wirral or the Worrell or something. I don't know.
Well, but then this is a long history of, wasn't Steven Gerrard in the bar? Didn't he get into a skirmish over?
It's when when the DJ wouldn't play the song he wanted.
Phil Collins, that's right.
Yes, and he swung for the DJ.
So I mean, and that's another player who, while we never got Steven Gerrard in fan tracks, I feel would have been pure numbers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a correlation.
Was that first season? Did we miss out? I feel like I guess we must have done.
Yeah, I mean, that might have been.
Maybe it was the last Telegraph one we had Steven Gerrard in.
Wait, no, maybe Gerrard was in the first
last
season. Yeah, it would have been that. Was the assault on the Liverpool assault on the title? Was that 2 years ago?
Yes.
No, that was before.
But I guess we should look at what's immediately in front of us, which is in fact the playoffs, the quarterfinals proper, and also the same with the Losers' Shield, which we've reached the last eight. Eight of our 24-strong league are no longer in competitive action. We've listed some of them. Matt Wing, I think we should stop for a second because sorry. Matt Wing is still in the Losers' Shield. I take that back. We'll get to him later.
But he did make a very passioned run for the playoffs.
He did.
A lot of effort in those trades that he pulled off.
His last 6 or 7 weeks were absolutely inspiring. I mean, he only lost 1 or 2.
It's incredible what his team ended up as.
Yes.
Before the trade deadline, because of the amount of badgering he does to
when
get
he
people.
Flipped a star striker for another star striker for another star striker.
Yeah.
in the space of 3 hours, and he went from Pedro to Ibrahimovic to Sanchez.
And then he gave Gritton Ibrahimovic,
Yeah.
who then got injured the next match,
Yeah, which
and is obviously out for the rest of the season.
which is just classic wing. You know,
Yeah.
it's absolutely phenomenal. He also managed to get rid of Ozil, which is great work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I for the record, I love Matt Wing. He's tenacious.
He's tenacious.
He's
dogged.
tenacious, and he has no respect for anyone. That's the best part.
Certainly not.
I've not. Well, it was only the first year I had him sending me trade offers because I've not been in the same league, but I can only imagine the amount of trade offers he's been sending.
Yeah, it's been a busy year.
This season particularly. It feels like a lot more activities.
Well,
happening.
he's very direct. So he messages you one way, and he'll give you a one word message, which will just be Ericsson, Siggy. Yeah, and that's there's no niceties. There's no how's your father before he slips it in. It's just he's straight into the raw meat of the deal, and he'll offer you the same player hundreds of times.
The art of the deal.
The art of the deal. The art of the deal with Matt Wing.
Yeah, Matt Wing has good gift work too.
He does.
He has two. He just uses.
I mean, he obviously look. I mean, all I imagine him is Brent now.
Mm-hmm.
He
Just
has
that
a signature meme. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, if you can meme yourself, that's pretty heavy going. But he's not in the playoffs.
No.
I think he deserves a bit of credit for just ruining so many other teams. And
Yeah.
he ruined Gritton's team.
Yes.
He's given me a couple of awful trades, which
Yes.
looked so tempting at the time, but it was mainly just to get him off my case.
Yeah.
So
Tenacious.
looking at the playoff matchups, we'll start with, I guess, the two lowest seeds, the two people who won their wildcard matchups, which is, it's me and you, Nathan.
Yes.
The underdogs.
Yes.
We'll start with your match. You are taking on Imran,
Yes.
who of course is, I think, the highest scorer across 24 teams this season. He has won the most games across 24 teams, and he's widely acknowledged of having on paper maybe the favourite team to win it all.
And he's already beaten me twice this
And
season.
including at least one absolute shellacking.
Yes.
So what gives you any confidence?
I feel like I've had a good run. Like the last couple of weeks have been good. Beat Adrian.
Yeah.
Beat Pete White. Josh King seems to be in good form. I feel like maybe Liverpool have turned a corner, so Milner and Firmino might have a good game this weekend against Southampton. Is Southampton this weekend?
It is
isn't
Southampton this weekend,
Um,
and Firmino will be starting in the middle.
my only worry is the fact that Imran has stocked up on a few Saints and
Yes.
obviously they have the double game week.
We have double game weeks for Arsenal and Southampton, which is not quite as a free-for-all as a couple of weeks ago, partly because the majority of Southampton players were already pre-owned,
Yes.
because they are very reliable fantasy players, and obviously Arsenal have that marquee name element where they also are viewed as good pickups despite not even being terrible.
Yeah.
I guess when I asked you about what makes you confident, there's one other thing that's make you feel confident and has yet to be mentioned. You are the reigning Fantrax champion.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I am. I'm.
Oh,
a
so you
holder.
beat the reigning finalist in the
Yes.
final, all because of that own goal, that Manchester United
Imagine
player.
I shipped a 90
90
minute goal.
I was
in the
there when it
last week.
happened.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you went, Jason, I think I've just lost.
Yeah.
And I had.
And you had.
Well, it was. I mean, it was a combination of things. It was obviously Tottenham somehow losing 5-1
No,
to
fancy.
to Newcastle.
Relegated Newcastle.
to relegate Newcastle, and then obviously the bomb scare that meant
Oh, yes.
that Bournemouth and United played 3 days later
Yes.
With rested
Very
players.
interesting.
with rested players. Yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, ultimately, it's.
I'm confident because of that. I feel like maybe this is third time the charm. to
Do you
beat Imran.
feel you have confidence through your achievements? Do you feel possibly your opponent is cracking slightly?
He does. We did also, we kind of talked about this on the group chat a little bit, how it felt like he might be, well, the fact that he was potentially tanking.
Interesting. I mean,
Which
certainly
maybe he was only pushing that story because obviously it looked like he might not hold on to
I see.
first place.
Bluff and double bluff.
Exactly.
I mean, this is a man who obviously is he's a very astute fan traxer. In his one season, he's proven that already. He, like I said, he's built a squad for game week 36, which is built to take on the double game week, and he's a good scorer. I mean, what do the numbers say? You've got some stats in front of you. You know, how's he looking in terms of
his
form?
His average is over 1,800.
It's
It's over 1,800 for the last 6 weeks.
which is moderate.
And the last three are around the 2,000 mark.
Okay, so he comes in good form.
Yes. Well, I'm coming in. My last game was over 2,000. The last two around 1,800. So slightly lower scoring.
The only thing I would say is Chelsea have got some pretty tasty fixtures now, and Costa could get a lot of points.
That's the thing. I think the fixtures might play into his favour.
Yeah, I think Chelsea might start rolling because they're going to win the league, and they're going to probably win the next few by quite a bit.
But the interesting thing is you have... So Chelsea play on Monday night, and which is the penultimate game. And so you're going to have to wait to see what medicine Diego Costa serves your team.
Yeah.
Which is going to be
It's pre-China blitz.
Well, I mean, it's happened before because I had over 2,000 points. I thought I'd beaten Imran in my first attempt. And then Lukaku came and scored a hat-trick, or at least a double.
On Monday Night Football.
On a Monday night.
So you've tasted the
horror.
The tip of Imran's tail, and it stings.
It does.
I mean, for my opinion, I think it's... Imran should feel he's a favourite, but I think rightly he understands that it's a weekly game.
It is. Maybe we should move on to your...
Myself and James. I don't give myself much of a chance because James has constructed a brilliant team for this week. He's got Gabriel Jesus coming in as the starter just in time. The moment that I lose his counterpart Aguero, it looks like. And he's an Arsenal fan, but he's stacked his entire team with Spurs players. I genuinely think that on Friday night, West Ham versus Spurs, 10 of the 11 starters on the pitch for Spurs will be in our two teams.
Yeah.
So
it's like, do you think he's done that purposefully?
Has he
as
been
as a dig against you?
Oh, I think he's an acute fan traxer who realises that Spurs players give good value, but yeah, he's definitely doing to dick me.
No.
So I dropped Kieran Trippier after Saturday because I assumed that Walker would be rotated in, and lo and behold, suddenly Carl Walker is persona non grata at Spurs, and Trippier is probably playing the rest of the season. I've stashed Danny Rose in my sub spot for 3 months now, and he's not. And James today just gleefully messages me saying, "Danny Rose doesn't train until next week." So
he's I did see that in the group.
James looks at my team. He gleefully tells me by my shortcomings, and because he's been at the top of our league for so long, he's had the luxury which he's earned to kind of take a medium to long view of his season and build a team for the playoffs. So I think and even though I'm the form scorer, it's a week-to-week proposition based on how Spurs do. Obviously, that's where my creative points come from. So if Spurs struggle at West Ham, I'm done for. If Spurs play really well at West Ham, it's probably parity because he has as many as mine. And then I have to hope that Diego Costa, like yourself, doesn't come up on Monday night and hit me around the head with the big one.
I would put... I mean, nothing against this game week for you, Gareth, but I think James might win the whole thing. I've just got a feeling he's building up a really, really strong team for the final.
Would it be a James Imran final, or would our two games play each other in the next round?
No, James and Imran, I believe, cannot meet till the final.
Okay, that makes sense because top two scorers,
the winner of myself and James meets either Ryan or Pete Flinton in the semi-finals, and the winner of you and Imran will play Adrian or Dave Trains, which we should probably take us on to the Ryan Lofthouse versus Pete Flinton match. Pete Flinton, who did very well all season, held around the third, fourth spot, and then felt like he kind of snuck in on the last minute when he beat me narrowly to take his spot.
On Perm Thursdays.
On Perm Thursdays. the greatest permutation Thursday of all. And he faces Ryan, who's been a juggernaut all season.
And Ryan's score, if you look at his last 6 weeks, he just kept getting better. He's like the last 2 weeks he's gone easily over 2,000. Before that, steadily building. So I feel like I really thought Ryan was going to do it and was going to nick the top spot off Imran.
Right, and it came down to a few hundred
points. And it looked like it was pretty close.
Yeah, except he also lost to Dan Brader
on the last week.
Who was bottom of the league, who
for some reason just
bust in 2,600 points as his final fuck you of the year. Dan subsequently then went out in the Losers' Shield in the first round. A true aberration. But it was quite. And
he's had one of the most inconsistent teams all season.
And as a Leeds fan, his best player was Ibrahimovic, which I know stuck in his craw somewhat until he traded him, I believe, with Adrian for Aguero and Coutinho. For my money, I think Ryan is likely to win through.
But you've missed one important factor about that matchup.
Yes.
So Pete Flinton with Noah Wright has arguably one of the best logo badges in this season.
Which is key.
Which is highly key. If you think about the time that Pete has obviously, and Noah as well, spent on creating their logos. I mean, it's Peter's cat. It's actually Pete's cat.
It is.
It's really good. And it's a circular emblem. I don't know if there's Latin in it, but it's really, really good work. Noah obviously is famous for AFC Jason Bournemouth, which is also brilliant.
I'll drop it in the Bournemouth soundbite there.
Yeah,
and he also was full kit at the Christmas do.
Yes, he was wearing the tracksuit.
Yeah, with NW.
He exchanged those little
pennants.
The pennants. So if we are going to talk about Pete's matchup with Ryan, I can't remember Ryan's logo. I'm sure it's good, but if I can't picture it, then it's obviously not as good as Pete's. And I just think the cat action is going to give him.
Help him somewhat.
Yeah, no, I mean, you talk about the intangibles in sport, the things that we can't measure, the things that data, just can't analyze, if that's the right word. It's so. Yeah, I think Pete's logo work is strong.
Nice, and if you are talking about measuring data, the argument in favour of Ryan is that he has got Alexis Sanchez playing 2 games.
I know him. He's a great photographer and a genial host. You're laughing, but I met him. He's a really nice guy.
Alexis Sanchez?
Oh no, I keep messing him up with
with David with Hockney.
No, it's another Alexi Lalas.
Save it for
every time I see Alex, I always it's a good one. He didn't have the goatee, but he was a nice guy.
I'm here with Pete Flinton, the manager of FC Dynamo Zuma. Pete, you're known as one of the more pessimistically minded managers. Maybe that's your Yorkshire heritage, but how do you feel going into your huge quarter-final with Ryan?
It's tough to say, Gareth, to be honest. I'm obviously delighted to be there. Yeah, I mean, it was touch and go whether we'd make it or not. Delighted to be there, and the boys will give it the best go.
Do you feel that it's going to hinge on the big double game week for Alexis Sanchez and for you, Nathan Redmond?
Well, yes, very much so. But, hopefully we'll have 11 players out on the pitch. Or should I say 12 maybe. But, we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. It's all we can do. Just happy to be there.
If you're going to beat Ryan, what do you think will happen that ensures you win? What needs to go your way?
Arsene Wenger to drop Alexis Sanchez, maybe?
It's very possible. Thank you very much. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thanks, Gareth.
In the other game, the final game, with Adrian Reed, with his team taking on Dave Trains, and both teams have. Dave has built his team around Manchester City. He's got Silva and Kevin De Bruyne, I believe now. No.
I'm not sure.
Wait, no.
Jamie's got the teams up right now.
I'm really not sure how Adrian's got this far. If he's got Victor Anishabi and Jamie Vardy up front.
He did have Ibrahimovic. Well, he got Ibrahimovic off Dan Brader
And he traded him for Aguero.
And obviously now Ibrahimovic is just completely knackered.
Yes.
So if you look at Adrian's points as well, his totals have really dropped off the last 2 weeks.
They really have, and I think that has something to do with the fact that Everton are playing terribly at the moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's in the same way that I backed Spurs to the end last season. That was a terrible mistake. He appears to be backing Everton, which is an even worse mistake.
Everton, who are very much safe in the European spots, they've got 7th spot. They don't really have that much to play for, and the last couple of game weeks have been very poor.
But having said that, I mean, while Anichebe is a good fan-tracks player in his limited sample, and Anichebe and Vardy, okay, fine, but his opponent is rolling out Nyang and Theo Walcott. So we're not exactly looking at two traditional
So do you think
powerhouses.
Adrian could slip through into the
Well,
the
for me, the
semi-final?
most exciting aspect is that they're both playing Ross Barkley in their team this week, which is, I mean, obviously they nullify each other, so it's almost a moot point. But I do like the fact that they're playing these, these totems of inconsistency, and maybe that's a metaphor as a whole for both these two teams.
Well, it balances out. I'm looking at Niang's scores, and he has yet to score below 95 in a game week since signing for Watford.
So he's a banker.
He's a very consistent player, and another who I shouldn't have traded.
Is it one?
Just a list of great players.
Is he one for next season, Jamie?
Well, it all depends. He's on loan, isn't he? I think.
Also, he seems to be one of those players who turns up, is great for 6 months at every club,
Yeah.
and fizzles out.
Yeah.
This is out because they get overexcited and spend 20 million on him.
Yes. I mean.
Theo Walcott.
Another nice point is that Adrian is rolling with Kieran Trippier, and Dave is rolling with Carl Walker.
Selection
So one of them
quandary.
is going to be miffed, and the other's going to fill in. Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't really know. It just feels like whoever wins this is probably cannon fodder for
Imran.
for Imran or Nathan in the next round.
Should we do quick predictions?
Yeah,
even though
quick
it includes
predictions.
ourselves.
So we're saying.
I mean, even though I want to win, I do think Imran's going to beat me.
You've got to back yourself in this situation, Nathan.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I will back myself then.
Good stuff.
So running through quickly, Gareth versus James Moore. Who are we saying?
Gareth.
I'm going to go for James.
I think you're going to cause an upset.
I'm going to say James.
Okay.
I'm going to split the vote by saying Gareth.
Interesting. Adrian versus Dave Trains. I feel that Dave Trains is going to take this.
Yeah, I think Dave Trains has got a good run into the playoffs.
He's got Ozil and Walcott on double game weeks as well, which is pretty solid for him. What are you saying, Jamie?
I think Dave will sneak it. I think it'll be fairly low scoring.
Yeah, I think Dave is going to have a whistle-stop tour to the final.
Very good. Imran versus Nathan.
I've already said myself.
Yeah, I said back yourself, but I'm actually going to back him.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Imran has been saying for the last month that he's going to dominate the league and go out in the first round of the playoffs.
He also said he'd lose to me, but I don't know if he was just doing that to guard against the chance that he does.
Well, he's a Spurs fan. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
We spend our entire lives being pessimistic and guarded, and also I'm sure Imran feels he has a good chance. I'm going to say that Imran's going to squeak it by 1,000 points.
Okay.
Well, what say you, Mr. Dobson, Senior?
I'm saying Imran out. You heard it here first. Big upset, Nathan.
Ooh.
Thank you.
And Ryan versus Pete Flinton. Love you, Pete, but I feel that Ryan has constructed a great team that's going to take him very deep.
Yeah, it's got to be Ryan, I think.
Yeah, Pete in the back seat, Ryan in the front.
Nice.
No, his badge is brilliant, so I have to back Pete.
Very good.
It's that week 33 in the 987 score that makes me think that he's not going to do it.
It is, and quickly, who is everyone's favourite to take the big title?
I said it earlier. I think James Moore's really built something very powerful.
If he beats you, Gareth, I think James Moore has a good chance.
Nice. Jason Dobson.
Dave Trains.
Nice. So all the favourites coming from League One. That's not surprising, is it?
Partly because I don't want to say Imran as well.
I think Imran is going to win it, and walk into the sunset, one and done, 100% fancy record in the Hofmeister League.
The ultimate
Wow.
villain.
The ultimate shithouse.
Yeah.
Matt Wing will have a long way to go next season to
The
truly
top
top that scenario. And good luck to everyone, I feel.
Thank you.
Hello, Hoftapod. This is the Northern Powerhouse calling. We're very pleased with how our season has panned out. I think a lot of people questioned whether we had the star quality to sustain a tilt at the title, and we've proved all our doubters wrong. So, barring a few hiccups along the way against guilty pleasures mostly, we would be very pleased to avoid them in the playoffs. I think we've been very fortunate to avoid any serious injuries, so I'd like to thank our medical team. They've done stellar work all season. There are a few niggling injuries in moving into the playoffs. I'm a little bit worried about David Silva. He's been a vital component for us. And I'm also worried that Kyle Walker has had his head turned by some oil-rich major label teams. So we need to see where his head's at, and we'll see whether he gets to play or not. I'm looking at Real Shithouse as the favourites, actually. I think we'll be meeting them in the final, and I look forward to a titanic battle there. Hats off to Matt Wing. He's got to be favourite for the Loser Shield. That's a competition that we hold dear to our hearts, having won it last season. But he's managed to put together quite a squad, and it's very difficult to see anyone winning that other than Neville Wears Prada. So roll on the playoffs.
Let's briefly whisk through the Loser's Shield. Colin versus Whiskers. I'm going to say that Whiskers is probably more likely there because he has a good team.
Narrowly missed the playoffs?
Very narrowly missed playoffs. Lost out on the last week. Very unfortunate. Hovered around the top three, it feels, for the whole year, and finally kind of ran out of steam. I feel that Colin has decided that this isn't his year and he's just going to leave it be, which is fair. Noah versus Chris Duncan. Both teams competing right to the end. I know that they both are proud members.
And I think Noah could do it. I think even though he did give Kane to Imran, he got Zaha. He's having, he's been scoring quite well.
Yes.
Noah had a good week against me last week. I think he's got some reliable defenders, which is very important.
Even though he hovered around the bottom four places most of the season in League A, he was actually quite a tough opponent. I always found
he was unlucky with injuries.
Exactly.
I think he's one of those things where he found himself anchored at the bottom after a while, and all he could do was play consistency and build the wins. But in the last 10 weeks of the season, I feel his form's been pretty good. So I agree. I think that Noah might push Chris, although Chris Duncan has resurrected Jesus for the for the occasion.
He was very quick off the mark to pick him.
Very quick off
to
the
pick
mark.
him out of the free agent pool.
And Chris obviously was the guy who drafted him initially, first overall in his league. So he'll just feel he's reclaiming what is rightfully his. Fat lot of good has done him. Jason, you're playing Tom Cotton.
Hey, Jason Dobson, a.k.a. Conte Dracula, a.k.a. doing it with mirrors, is taking Tom Cotton all the way to Pum Pum City. Doing it with mirrors. I've played Tom before in the NFL Fantasy, and I don't think I've lost to him. Hence, I'm going to beat him in Premiership Fantasy.
The two correlate nicely. I mean, he's limping over the line with Raheem Sterling and Christian Benteke.
He was.
Distracted.
Two league Tom Cotton. Thank you for that. Yes.
At one point, we were quite neck and neck with the wild card playoff spot, and he also almost got into the actual playoffs. So I feel like Tom Cotton might have a good game.
Yeah,
I'd also like Jason to win.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom's also admitted that So I think most of us know this now, but he has created a second fan tracks league for other friends with a simplified scoring rate because
Oh, I want to be in that one.
fan tracks is hard.
If there's no BCMs in it or any of the
I believe
useless
there's
other...
BCMs, there's
No,
just
I
smaller
don't want to
numbers.
be in it then. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tom.
He's admitted he's bottom of that league.
Oh wow.
As commissioner,
Aw.
creator, founder, he's struggling in that league. So maybe this is not
So he's,
an indicator of his
he's
overall
spawned a
qualities.
spawned a monster
I think
there.
that just
If he
shows
can't
his-
even win his own
his
league.
commitment to this one, I think.
So yeah, maybe that's just true. Maybe even though that's his league, it will forever be his secondary league.
Yeah.
I think that I think Jason has had a really strong. I mean, don't forget halfway the season you were ranked bottom of your league.
Yeah, I did
And
forget
Your
that.
form over the last half of the season's been superb. You've rebuilt your team with the Vardis and the
Yeah. It's a bit-
Lanzinis. Lanzini was a big player for you.
Yeah, and also some other players I can't remember. I really love Tom. I don't think there's going to be a winner out of this matchup.
Both teams will take a gentleman's draw.
Yeah, why not?
What happens in the case of a draw in a playoff? I guess it probably wouldn't happen because it's very unlikely.
It's an extra wild card to the playoffs.
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know the answer. I guess
know.
we'd have to devise
Some
the
kind of
tiebreaker.
yeah.
I would love a real life penalty shootout where they alternate between shooter and being in goal.
No, it should be the NFL fantasy score should carry over.
Oh yes,
To
achievements in
Premiership.
other fantasy sports leagues.
I think I went 2-0 on Tom last year or this season. I can't
so.
remember.
In case of draw, you're through.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's in the fantasy sports columns. I am 1-0 right
Yes.
now. Yeah.
Like in the fancy Super League. right?
Exactly.
I feel really bad that Jason versus Tom got more airtime than most of the playoff games.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
Alright.
The last
and
one,
then
the loser
finally,
shield.
A loser's shield. Matt Wing versus Clay Roberts. Matt Wing obviously might have the best overall team in the league.
Because of his dynamic
His
deadline
incredible
day
deadline
trade.
day trading.
Yeah.
However, there is one big issue against him, which is Claire Arsenal, QPR Arsenal Roberts. I think has a bunch of Arsenal players on double game weeks.
Yes.
So wait, no, hang on, I'm looking. She's got Xhaka, who's not playing,
Well,
and she's
Did she
got
not have? I feel like she did have at least 2 or 3.
Shane Oxley,
Did she have
Chamberlain.
Czech?
She's got Koscielny and Czech, which is fine. But I just remember Matt Wing as Sanchez, and more importantly is De Bruyne and Shaqiri and Yaya Toure and Hazard and Kolarov and
but they're playing chief upsetters Crystal Palace,
this
who
is
may
true,
never lose
actually.
again.
We may never lose again apart from the last 2 in a row.
Exactly.
But
Apart from against Burnley.
and they're not even safe yet. It's worrying.
I would back Claire all the way because
Hmm.
it's Matt Wing and he can't
Yeah.
win.
I kind of want
No.
Claire to go through.
Yeah.
I feel like Matt Wing probably did deserve to be in the playoffs by the end of it because he had quite a good run at the end of it, but
It's
it
like
just
Man
wasn't good
United
enough.
fans saying that they deserve the Champions
That's
League.
true. That's very true.
And if he can
He's in the
poetically
UEFA
miss
Cup.
out in the same
He's,
way,
he's, in the, he's in the Europa and he's not happy about it.
he's not.
It is quite beautiful, and you say he deserves being the playoffs.
Well,
but
not that he
he
deserves
neither
it.
won enough
but-
games nor scored enough.
No,
points.
he didn't. Not deserves probably the wrong word. I feel like he gave put a lot of effort in trying to get to the playoffs.
Yes.
And it was very admirable.
I also think the playoffs would be a more enjoyable experience for the onlooker if Matt was in there.
and if Matt Wing got knocked out in the first round.
Yes, that's it. Like I knocked him out in the first round last
He
year.
did. I was really worried that I'd have to play him at some point in the playoffs last year because of, I don't know, and this year as well. Just the idea of playing
The
Matt Wing in the
idea of
playoffs and
losing
losing to Matt Wing in the
playoffs is
playoffs.
horrifying.
Yeah.
I'll take it if it's one of the salty members of the league. I'll take it, but Matt's a special man to lose to. He absolutely thumped me in the regular season one time, I recall. So we've exchanged lumps. So I mean, there we have it. There's some thoughts.
Wait,
a
you didn't
huge-
ask me about the matchup.
Sorry, who do you think will win between Matt Wing and Claire Roberts, Jason?
I don't know, but I want Claire Roberts to win. She's the first lady of fan tracks. she's like Michelle Obama.
I thought
When
I thought-
everyone goes low, she goes high.
Yes.
Plus, she's got good crisp game.
She has got good crisp
And
game.
Matt Wing is evil, like in a good way. I really like Matt Wing, but I want Claire to win.
Is
Claire does
Nancy
have
not
good,
the first lady of Fans Rights?
What?
Is
The
Nancy
first
not
cat.
the first lady of Fans Rights?
She's the first cat because you have the first dog.
Oh yes.
Yes, thank you.
Bo.
Bo.
Yeah.
And they have had cats before.
Socks.
Socks, the Clintons'
Yes.
cat. Yes. Yeah. And famously, you had. I say famously, I might get this wrong, but I think the dog of Nixon was called Checkers.
Oh, I believe you may be right.
And he didn't like Nixon either.
Good.
Anyway, so I want Claire to win.
On that logic.
On that logic.
As we wrap up, I guess, any final thoughts of the season? Is there any particular moments that people will remember and will treasure?
A lot of lessons.
There's a lot
A
of
lot
lessons
of harsh
learned.
lessons.
Yeah.
Well, I think I came last in my first season, and this has been a vast improvement. But it's learning the ropes. It's a long game. Not everyone can be in round and suddenly enter the competition and
walk
topple
through.
everybody.
Yeah.
And you love trades.
I love trades when I go on holiday.
I love
I think that's a
trades.
problem. I should maybe just not go away, and then
Not
I'll
do
be
it.
fine.
Something to do when you're on the beach.
Is
And now your players are on the beach themselves.
They very much are. Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of excitement, there's been a lot of scandal, sort of interesting manoeuvres. I'll remember Spurs. The Spurs.
the Spurs
Propelling my team
Yeah,
to
I
this
think-
position.
it was. I think the moment when you went full Spurs, which was very early this year,
Yes.
and you just
I think I had 9 at one point.
yeah, and that was probably what, like week 4 or 5 or something like
Similar,
that.
I moved early.
Yeah, that was memorable.
I should have kept
definitely.
that team.
I mean,
Because at one point I started trading them out and I started losing. And that's a lesson learned. Don't trade out your Spurs players. Take them all. Jason, any particular sage words of advice, memories of the season?
No, I don't have any sage words. Actually, I do. Don't draft foreign, injury-prone fancy Dan players.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be my watchword for next season. And second of all, I just want to say that on behalf of everyone else, we've really appreciated yours and Colin's magnificent stewardship
Thank you.
of the Good Ship fan tracks thing. And this was my first season, and I feel like I've picked up 23 new friends.
Oh.
well,
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank
No
you everyone who
problem.
made it to the end of this podcast, and commiserations to you who prematurely made it to the end of your season. So we will be with you at the next podcast, which I expect will be in August. Until then, I'd like to say thank you, Jamie Milton.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nathan Roberts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason Dobson.
Ciao.
Cheers, Liam in the corner.
Thank you.